Now at 9, Miami community members come together to celebrate art at a mural fest. Plus, the Clay Cup and El Taco Zone hold their annual bowl-a-thon in Neosho. We'll take you there.
Hundreds of Americans one step closer to being rescued as Sudan enters a third week of fighting. I'm Ryan Shilcote in London, and I'll have the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Cale Chapman. The city of Miami and its community members gathered together to celebrate art and murals. KOAM's Shagun Bamadeli has more.
Miami Mural Fest is an art event that celebrates street arts and murals in the city of Miami, Oklahoma. The festival brings together artists, musicians, and the community.
We do it every year to bring a little bit of art to the community. So we like to paint the town, but we also like to celebrate all arts. So we have some performers, we've got live music, and we've got a beautiful car show as well. Since
the COVID-19 pandemic, 2023 has been the biggest year for Miami Mural Fest.
This year's our biggest year yet, so we've already had a breaking turnout. We probably have about 2,500 people right here, and I hope to get some more in through the rest of the day.
A mural artist from Texas says she is excited and hopes she impresses the locals.
I hope to make something that people are excited to take photos with, and also to create something that that adds a little bit more character also to just the wall itself and the business.
Volunteers says the mural brings life to the community of Miami.
I love the murals. I love them too. It gives people something to come to Miami for. A lot of towns don't have stuff like that, but we do. So you can go down Main Street and you can see all the different murals. And every year they change, so it's something new to look at.
In Miami, Shagun Bamadeli, KOAM News.
The first Miami Mural Fest took place in 2017. The Youth Corps Volunteer Corps of Joplin gathered on the sidewalks of downtown today to create invisible art. The invisible art was created through the use of an environmentally friendly spray that is visible only in the rain. Local youth ages 11 to 18 were involved in the volunteer project. The Youth Corps hopes that the project will bring a smile to someone's face on a gloomy day.
Yeah, so today we are creating invisible artwork on the sidewalks with a special spray that will only show up when the sidewalk gets wet. It's a product called Rainworks. It's a hydrophobic spray, so you spray it on. We're using stencils.
My favorite part is getting to give back to my community, the community that gives so much to us, that I think getting to give back and show the community what we're grateful for is definitely the best part.
The spray is biodegradable and will dissolve in a few months. Joplin's Empire Market hosted a special event today to celebrate their 5th year of business. Along with visiting the usual vendors, market guests could sign the market's giant birthday card and register for a raffle to win an entire greenhouse. Pollinator kits were available in the community garden, and live music helped get the event rolling.
So we are primarily at our core, we're a 4-season farmers market. So every single Saturday we're open 10 to 2. We have produce, meat, eggs, bread, all the typical things that you can find at a farmers market.
The Empire Market is open every Saturday at 10 a.m. The Clay Cup and the El Taco Zone teamed up to host their 5th annual bowl-a-thon and street festival today in Neosho, Missouri. Area potters participated in event-making bowls for Watered Gardens' 11th annual Empty Bowls event. The public was free to enjoy live music and Mexican food while they supported their favorite local artists.
It is our 5th annual bowl-a-thon, and what I mean by bowl-a-thon, we're not bowling, we're making bowls for Watered Gardens Empty Bowls fundraiser. You know, this is one thing that all the potters can get together and do for our community, to help with the soup kitchens, to help with the homeless, to do what we can do.
Bowls were available for purchase, with all proceeds from the event benefiting Watered Gardens, Neosho's Hope Kitchen, Mission Joplin, and We Care for the 4 States. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us for a first look at the weather.
I wish we had some rain out there for some of those water bowls and some lots of precipitation, but unfortunately in our area right now it is dry. We do have some showers though over in eastern Missouri and western parts of Illinois, but that is about it. Not really expecting anything here for a while. And unfortunately it means the pollens are going to start going up as well. Today we had a lot of oak, mulberry, and walnut pollen. Tomorrow about 10.4 on a scale of 12, so it's going to be pretty bad tomorrow. Temperatures this evening are going to drop through the 50s into the 40s, all the way down to 40 degrees by tomorrow morning. And looking down the lane, we're going to have some cool mornings and then a windy Sunday on tap and then a dry period followed by some storms late Wednesday and Thursday. And of course, I'll have all the details on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, well, thank you, Sam. Title 42 is set to expire next month, leaving Democrats and Republicans to debate about what to do about the southern border. Fox News senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram has the latest from Capitol Hill.
House Republicans talk about border security all the time.
The border's wide open.
Massive waves of people to come.
Drug trafficking, unaccompanied children.
But doing something about the border proved elusive for the House majority, perhaps until now.
We're going to bring a border security package and pass it through this House of Representatives.
That's what Republicans pledged on the campaign trail last fall.
I will promise you this. If we get the majority, we will secure this border.
All right, the ayes have it. But consensus evaded Republicans for their first 4 months running the House.
We've only been in power for just over 100 days. It's not about a time frame.
The time frame is to pass a border security package just as Title 42 expires next month, amid an expected immigration crush.
There's an opportunity for us to bring a package that is certainly going to help secure the border and also protect people.
The GOP plan resumes border wall construction. It hikes Border Patrol pay and hires more agents. Plus, it requires those seeking asylum to only cross into the U.S. at a point of entry. But like the debt ceiling, the GOP must muscle the border measures to passage with a narrow majority. Democrats from border districts are skeptical of the GOP plan.
If we're going to build walls just to build walls and not really have policy that prevents people from coming, it'll make no difference.
Another border district Democrat claims the GOP effort is a distraction.
They try to recover from the wrong decisions that they've made around the issue of choice and women's reproductive rights. It's a playbook that at least I've seen 6 elections in a row.
A recent Fox News poll showed that only 5% of registered voters said the border was their most important issue. It trailed the economy and guns. Republicans also maul impeaching Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, but lacked the votes. On Capitol Hill, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll take a look at a new risk that researchers have found with breast cancer. Researchers may have found a new risk for breast cancer. According to a study published by JAMA Oncology, it has to do with breast density. If the density of one's breast is declining at a slower rate than the other, the study says cancer is often detected in that breast. Scientists at Washington University in St. Louis compiled the research from more than 10,000 women over a 10-year period. While breast density is known for risk factors for cancer, the study says more research is needed on how breast density changes over time. A new study suggests Black and Latina mothers may have been induced into labor based on the needs of white mothers and not their own. Researchers at the University of Colorado Boulder looked at more than 40 million births. They found the rate of induced labor nearly tripled between 1990 and 2017. Women in all 3 groups had similar increased rates of induced labor. However, researchers say more white women were induced into labor when there was evidence of risk factors. Tennessee will soon cover the cost of diapers for people on TennCare. That's the state's Medicaid program. It is sure to be a welcome relief for families struggling to afford the expensive but necessary products. Kate Beery reports.
The Mid-South Food Bank supplies the entire region with diapers. Staffers are waiting on guidance from the state as to how they can provide this bare necessity to families on TennCare.
They're just outrageous. They're just really outrageous, ridiculous, really.
Anyone who raises a child understands the high cost of diapers.
Oh my God, they're really expensive.
TennCare will soon cover diapers for a child's first 2 years.
Well, honestly, it will help my mom a lot and it will help my sister a lot.
That is so cool because I feel like it's cool for the parents that really don't have the money to buy Pampers for their kids.
Dornisha White manages the Bear Needs Diaper Bank, which is part of the Mid-South Food Bank.
This will help provide extra funding for those parents that are struggling, especially when their bills are piling up or they just don't know where to go and get diapers from.
She said the average baby will use anywhere from $70 to hundreds of dollars worth of diapers a month. Conanisa Hollis raised all 4 of her children on TennCare. She wishes she had this help when her kids were little.
Man, it got hard. Sometimes it got real hard. I'm a mother of 4, so I got 2 boys, 2 girls. It got hard, but we did what we had to do. We made it.
Sam is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, Pitt State baseball takes on Washburn. Brock Baldridge will have the highlights in sports.
Well, it was another beautiful day across the 4 states. We do have a cold front moving through the area right now, but it looks like it's coming through dry. Let's start out the day looking at Seneca, Missouri to Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. You saw that we started out with some clouds this morning, but as the afternoon progressed, cumulus clouds broke out and mostly blue skies this afternoon and a beautiful sunset across the area. And we're looking at mostly fair conditions across the entire area. We did make it up to 68 today after starting out at 51, which was actually the normal low. A little bit below normal on the high, but we'll take it. We are way behind though on the rainfall. Look at that, only less than 3/4 of an inch for the month so far, and that's probably where we're going to end up. That's 4 inches below normal, almost 4 inches behind on the year total as well. In fact, April is going to go down as probably the 3rd driest April in Joplin history, with less than 3/4 of an inch of rainfall. We normally have about 5 inches across here. And of course, that's making the drought situation worse, as if it's not bad enough already, especially in Elk and Chautauqua counties. Now the drought is starting to sneak back into western Missouri in the northern parts of our viewing area. Still wet though down in southeastern sections, but we definitely need some more rainfall across the entire area. When you combine that with the winds that we've had, it's adding to the fire danger. Now today the winds have not been that bad, but notice that there is a wind shift across our area. You can notice winds in the northwesterly direction in our northwestern sections and southwesterly ahead of that front. But this front is coming through dry. Unfortunately, no precipitation expected with it. Instead, tomorrow we're going to see the winds pick up across the area. So again, the fire danger is going to be high with winds over 25 to 30 miles per hour with some gusts higher than that. Then as we head into Monday, the winds are going to shift a little bit more to the north and east. So folks in Fort Scott, Nevada, Carthage, and Mount Vernon might have to deal with some 25-mile-an-hour winds plus. And then as we go through the evening, the winds will start to lessen off just a little bit. But watch out for the fire danger. Radar is clear right now in our immediate area, but notice up to the north and east, there are a few showers in eastern Missouri and western Illinois. We're going to have to wait for this storm system, which is in the Pacific Ocean right now, before it starts to make its appearance in our area. We're going to have to wait a few more days for that. Temperatures right now are in the 60s and a few 50s thrown in with light and variable winds. Dew points are still low, in the 20s and 30s, even some 40s starting to sneak in, but it's relatively dry across the entire area. Temperature right now 64 in Joplin with a dew point of 40, humidity 41%, and in Pittsburgh it's 59, southwest wind at 7, and a dew point in the lower 40s. And you can see that front sailing through our area with temperatures tomorrow going to be in the 50s by 9 o'clock. And then in the afternoon, we're going to see highs in the 60s across the area, and then by 7 o'clock in the mid-70s. And then Monday morning, we're seeing lows in the 30s, so quite chilly across the area. Then as we go into the afternoon, temperatures in the 60s, and then as we move into Tuesday morning, we're going to see lows once again in the 30s. Rainfall amounts with the next storm system are hopefully going to be more numerous and a little bit more heavy, especially up towards the north. Over the next 7 days, here's your forecast. Fire danger tomorrow and Monday with those winds, and then storms roll in on Thursday, and then that continues into Friday and Saturday. Hopefully we'll get some rain around here, and then on Sunday drier, and then more storms maybe next Tuesday.
All right, well, yeah, hopefully people stay safe out there. It's too windy and too dry to be burning anything these next couple days.
Be careful with the fire tomorrow.
All right, yeah, well, thank you, Sam. It's been almost 1 month since the tornado devastated parts of Little Rock and its surrounding communities. One couple from Indiana has been actively helping those in the natural state. Ashley Godwin reports.
So what do we have?
Okay, so you got the smoky grilled chicken breast.
Julie and Butch Bauer have been married for 57 years, now in retirement, but not ready to slow down.
See you later.
They are volunteers for the Red Cross. They've come all the way from Indiana to help with relief efforts after the tornado.
Well, we're just here to give hope, and we understand what they're going through as best as we can.
They've been in Arkansas for a week now, helping distribute meals to those in need.
You can serve the rolls, maybe. And we have Cambros full of a meat of some sort, a couple vegetables, rolls, and utensils. And we box those all up.
It's something these two have been doing a while, helping those who need it most, with no plans of stopping anytime soon.
Sometimes you get tears in your eyes. You see people that are really struggling. I'm sorry.
It's okay. And you help them?
Yes. I think making them feel better.
Coming up, what experts are saying about buy now, pay later options and why you shouldn't use them. Inflation and interest rate worries pull consumers back again. Federal data shows spending in March went flat for a second straight month. Core inflation rose 0.3% from February to March and 4.6% from a year earlier. The Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates again in attempts to help cool off even more spending and get inflation under control. However, the rate hikes will affect costs on loans for housing and cars, and interest rates on credit cards. As Americans try to cope with the higher cost of goods and services, they're turning to buy now, pay later financing, even when it comes to essentials like groceries. A new survey by the online business platform Lending Tree shows about 46% of consumers used delayed payment plans this year. That's up 43% from a year ago and 31% from the year before that. Consumer advocates say paying this way is not a good idea, with consumers paying interest as high as 21 to 27% on their purchases. And it may be time for some borrowers to start paying back student loans again. Back in November, President Biden extended a pause on repayments for federal student loans. As his administration's student debt forgiveness program faced legal battles, the federal student aid website says if the program is not implemented and the litigation has not been resolved by June 30th, payments will resume 60 days after, and borrowers would be notified before payments would restart. Up next, we'll take a look into a new Airbnb in Missouri that is inspired by the king, Elvis Presley. If you plan on visiting Independence, Missouri, you can soon stay in a house fit for a king. Welcome to the Elvis House, as some of the locals have affectionately called it. The owners spent the last few months renovating the house and used the king of rock and roll for inspiration. Elvis Presley stayed in the house while touring in the late 50s and 60s. The owners are not calling it a shrine to the rock legend, but say the house complements his legacy. They say that as demand increases, rent could top nearly $2,000 a night. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports are coming your way. Coming up, the latest on efforts by U.S. forces to evacuate Americans from the civil war in Sudan. Evacuations have begun of American citizens trapped in Sudan as countries rush to get their people out as the country becomes increasingly unstable. Fox News correspondent Ryan Chicolette has more.
Hundreds of Americans finally reaching Sudan's eastern port this weekend amid a U.S.-backed plan that saw armed aerial drones watching over the evacuation routes. Just days ago, U.S. officials said there was no plan in the works for a widespread evacuation, drawing criticism from the families of those trapped on the ground. There are an estimated 16,000 U.S. citizens in the country. At least 2 Americans have been killed. Clashes continue in the capital of Khartoum despite a series of on and off ceasefires. The fighting started 2 weeks ago between the Sudanese army and a rival paramilitary force. Since then, hundreds have been killed and thousands more displaced, with the humanitarian crisis quickly developing.
Hundreds of thousands of people who are still stuck in Khartoum, who are still in the middle of an active war zone, who don't have electricity, who don't have water.
More than a dozen other countries also working to get their people out as the situation becomes increasingly dangerous. Thousands of Sudanese citizens are among those fleeing the fighting.
The situation is very bad. We didn't expect it. Fire in the street, fire in the houses, in the cars.
A number of countries, including the United States, have been involved in trying to stop the fighting. The latest ceasefire expires on Sunday at midnight. In London, Ryan Chilcote, Fox News.
Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now.
And it was a beautiful day across the area, and we're still seeing that continuing into this evening. Radar is all clear right now. There are a few showers way off to the east in central parts of Missouri and eastern Missouri and western Illinois, but those showers are going to stay away from us, unfortunately. And the allergies today were not that bad, or in the moderate category, 7.7. Most of that was oak, mulberry, and walnut pollens. Tomorrow is going to be increasing to around 10.4, so a little bit more sniffles out there. Temperatures tonight are going to drop through the 50s into the 40s, all the way down to 40 degrees by tomorrow morning with mostly fair skies. And if we take a look at the down the lane, we're going to have some cool mornings ahead, a windy Sunday across the area, and a dry period for the most part. And then we have some storms rolling in late Wednesday and Thursday, and I'll have all the details on that in just a little bit.
Police have identified the man accused of fatally shooting 5 people in a home in Cleveland, Texas late Friday night. The San Jacinto County Sheriff Greg Capers says the shooting happened after neighbors asked the suspect, 38-year-old Francisco Oropeza, to stop firing a weapon in his yard. Police say authorities received a call in reference to a harassment and discovered multiple people shot around the home when they arrived on the scene. Police say an 8-year-old child is among the deceased, and the victims were shot almost execution style. The sheriff says 3 other juveniles were taken to the hospital but were not injured. 3 people are dead after a quadruple shooting in Philadelphia's Longcrest section. Reporter Matt Pertillo has more.
Families are in mourning here in Longcrest after 3 young people were shot and killed in the middle of the afternoon Friday. Officers believe the victims' ages range from 15 to 20 years old.
We got to do better as a community, as a whole. We have to take accountability.
Philadelphia police found 1 victim on this sidewalk, another on this porch, and 1 inside the home. All 3 were dead. A 4th victim, a 16-year-old, was shot in the stomach.
That individual is placed, I believe, in stable condition at this point. However, officers are able to obtain information on the vehicle that may have dropped off that individual.
Security video shows a black SUV crashing into a parked minivan on nearby Whitaker Avenue several minutes after the shooting. Then 2 people from the SUV run from the scene. But police quickly took them into custody and say they may have dropped off the 16-year-old victim at a hospital before the crash. You can see the damage left behind. Police also found a gun inside the SUV.
That vehicle still has to be processed, and those individuals will be questioned by homicide at this point.
As authorities work to figure out what led up to the gunfire, neighbors are afraid.
There's no accountability today.
Sharia Owens had to walk her 7-year-old daughter around crime scene tape to take her home from school.
Are you concerned for your own daughter's safety growing up in the city?
At this point, I really am. I'm like, after that's too close for home.
Even experienced detectives are impacted by another shooting taking more young lives.
It's frustrating because, again, I know the work that our men and women are doing in trying to stop, trying to prevent these type of incidents from happening.
Colorado Governor Jared Polis signed 4 gun control bills into law Friday. They're aimed at reducing gun violence and increasing public safety. Among the provisions, they set a minimum 3-day waiting period before the delivery of a purchased firearm, remove a liability protection for firearm and ammunition manufacturers, increase the age requirement of knowingly possessing a gun from 18 years old to 21 years old or older, and expand the state's already existing red flag law, allowing more people to petition for an extreme risk protection order. Still ahead, YouTube makes podcasts available for YouTube Music listeners. We'll take a look at how to use it.
Well, folks, another gorgeous day across the 4 states here in April. What we need is some rainfall, and unfortunately, it doesn't appear to be on the horizon in the near time frame. Right now, we're looking at a beautiful shot in Seneca, Missouri at Indigo Sky Casino and resort a beautiful sunset across the entire area. We do have a high today of 68 degrees and 51 was the low, which is actually pretty close to the normals of 72 and 51. What is not normal is rainfall. Look at that. Less than 3/4 of an inch so far for the entire month of April, which is 4 inches below normal, around 3 3/4 of an inch below normal for the year. And that's not what we like to see as we go into the summertime months, below normal on the rainfall. We're going to end up April being the 3rd driest April in Joplin history if this continues with no rain tomorrow, which is likely. Normally we have about 5 inches this month, and we're not even close to that. And as a result, the drought is expanding again back into western parts of Missouri. And the drought has been persistent in Chautauqua and Elk counties in the exceptional category for quite some time. So we desperately need some rainfall across our area. Then when you couple that with the winds, tomorrow especially, we're going to be looking at a higher fire danger. Right now you can see the winds are sort of shifting right now from southwesterly to northwesterly behind a dry front that is currently moving through the area. But tomorrow we're going to see the winds really pick up, especially in the morning to early afternoon hours. Around noon, 30-mile-per-hour winds are likely across the area. Then as we go into the afternoon, they shift down a little bit. But then as we move into Monday morning, we're going to see the winds picking up once again, especially up towards the north and west. And by evening, they should slacken up just a little bit. Radar is clear right now, but notice this fine little line right here. That is the actual front right there moving through south of Nevada into Stockton area right now in Cedar County. It is producing some showers over in eastern parts of Missouri, but unfortunately we're going to miss out on that. Instead, we're going to have to wait for this storm system that's now approaching the west coast, but it's going to take its sweet time getting here and won't really get here until about Thursday. That's when the rain chances start to increase. Right now you can see that front basically bisecting our area, but notice temperatures behind the front are just as warm, or if not warmer, than ahead of it. So it's really more or less a wind shift line at this point. Dew points are lower behind it though, and ahead of it we're seeing dew points in the 30s and 40s, but we have lots of dry air in the area, and temperatures tonight are going to drop down into the 40s and a few 30s here and there. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny with temperatures in the mid-60s, northwesterly winds, breezy though, in fact windy, so watch out for the fire. And then tomorrow night into Monday morning, we're going to see lows in the 30s. Could even see some frost in some of the colder valleys. Then on Monday afternoon, temperatures in the mid-60s with northwest winds continuing. And then Tuesday morning, we're going to see lows once again in the 30s. So again, frost might be a problem for some areas. Rainfall is expected Wednesday night into Thursday. And hopefully with this next storm system, we'll get more rainfall. But this is just one model out of many. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Over the next 7 days, here's your forecast. Fire danger increasing tomorrow and Monday with those windy conditions. And then Wednesday and Thursday, the rain comes back. Hopefully a good soaking rain, because that's what we need. And that maybe will continue, hopefully, right into the early part of next weekend.
Well, yeah, we can definitely hope. This is it's getting a little dry out there.
It's a little bit on the dry side.
For sure. All right, well, thank you, Sam. And don't forget, you can always be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Once again, that is the Skywatch weather app. And coming up in sports, Brock Baldridge is going to break down today's action on the college and professional levels.
Well, both Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State finishing up the regular season this weekend. Lions have a chance to win the MIAA with 2 more wins and 2 more Central Missouri losses. Pitt State, on the other hand, is looking to finish for 3rd place and positioning for postseason. In Pittsburgh, the Gorillas are hosting the Incabods. Pitt State's looking to even the series after a loss last night. Bottom of the 2nd, no score. Cade Clemens deep to left field. The outfielder can't find the ball. Spoiler alert, no one can, because that ball's out of here. Solo shot for the Gorillas. They're up 1-0. Bottom of the 4th now. Game's all tied up 1-1. Jake Grauberger goes into the gap, and that bounces off of the fence. Coffey and Clemens, get on your horse. 2 runs scored. It's a 2-run double for Grauberger. Pitt State regains the lead up 3-1. Bottom of the 5th now, 4-1 Pitt State. Joe Hamilton, dead center. Easton Bruce is out of room, and it's out of here. Pittsburgh State goes up 6-1 after a 2-run home run by Hamilton. Gorillas even up the series and beat Washburn this afternoon 10-1. Let's take a look at Missouri Southern at Missouri Western this weekend. Lions win the series today after winning 5-3 over the Griffins. Will Dorey goes 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. Lions officially finish in second place in the MIAA regular season standings after Central Missouri's win over Fort Hays State earlier this afternoon. So the Lions will be the 2 seed in next weekend's MIAA tournament. Well, it's officially scoreboard watching season. The Missouri Southern Lions softball team is on the road this weekend, looking to beat Central Oklahoma for possibly for first place and a chance to win the MIAA the first time since 2001. But first things first, the Lions take a trip to Wichita, taking on the Newman Jets. In Game 1, the Lions sweep the Jets 4-0. Josie Topai does what she does, going 2 for 3 with a 2-run triple in this game. Leighton Withers goes 2 for 4 with an RBI double. Lions take care of business in Game 1. In Game 2, the Lions scored all of their runs in the first 2 innings, and that's all they needed to complete the sweep of Newman, winning Game 2 4-2. Emily Perry goes 2 for 3 with a double and 2 RBIs. And that sets up a huge matchup tomorrow against Central Oklahoma. Winner of that doubleheader will win the MIAA regular season championship. Pittsburgh State also in action in Edmond, Oklahoma. Missouri Southern really needs help from the Gorillas today, but Pitt State didn't show much in Game 1. Gorillas lose Game 1 7-2. However, Paxton Hayes goes 2 for 4 with an RBI double. In Game 2, it was a heartbreaker for the Gorillas. They were up 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th, but they could not hold on. Gorillas lose 4-3. Keela Griffith goes 1 for 3 with a 2-run homer. However, Pitt State will be back at it tomorrow on the road against Newman. Well, the Kansas City Royals have had a dreadful April. They have the second worst record in the American League and in Major League Baseball, but today was a day that the club needed to lift their spirits. Royals and Twins starting off in the 8th inning. Royals down 2-1. Salvador Perez knocks in Bobby Witt Jr. Game is tied 2-2. So we head to the top of the 9th. 2 runners on. Wild pitch here by Duran. And Edward Olivares will come down from third and he will score. Royals take a 3-2 lead. So bottom of the 9th now. Scott Barlow looks to close this one out. He will sneak a piece of cheese by Byron Buxton. He's gone. Next batter, Larnick, hits it right back to Barlow, and Royals win it today 3-2 over the Twins for their 7th win of the season. And St. Louis Cardinals are playing tonight against the Los Angeles Dodgers. No score update on that one right now, but we'll get another score update here tonight at 10. Well, how awesome is this? The NFL Draft is in Kansas City this weekend. Great weekend. Kansas State running back and fan favorite Deuce Vaughn was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in the 6th round and 212 overall. And look to the left side of your screen. That is Deuce Vaughn's father, who is a scout for the Dallas Cowboys. On the right side of your screen, he gets to call his son to tell him that he has been drafted by the Dallas Cowboys and he gets to go to work with his dad. Just fantastic. Well, that's it with sports. We'll be back after this.
YouTube Music is bringing podcasts to its platform for American listeners. Users will be able to access on-demand and offline streams without a premium subscription. The YouTube Music app now has a separate tab just for podcasts, where users will have the ability to switch between audio-only or video versions of their favorite podcasters. Twitter announced how much it will cut from its content subscriptions on the platform. Earlier this month, CEO Elon Musk revealed the company would enable creators to offer their followers subscriptions to premium content, and there would be no cut taken by Twitter for the first 12 months. Musk says after the first year, the company will take a 10% cut. The CEO also says Twitter will take a 30% cut from iOS and Android subscriptions in the first year, which will drop to 15% in the second. Jada Pinkett Smith is looking for a new network for her web-based show, Red Table Talk. The Facebook Watch original show has been canceled. It comes as Facebook parent Meta pivots away from producing original programming. Pinkett Smith co-hosted the popular talk show along with her daughter Willow Smith and Pinkett Smith's mother, Adrienne Banfield Morris. On Thursday, Pinkett Smith thanked Facebook Watch on her verified Instagram account and said she is actively looking for a new home for the show. Up next, we'll meet an Oklahoma man that opened his business at 91 years young. A 91-year-old Muskogee man is proving you're never too old to live your dream. He's now the proud owner of a bait and tackle shop. Reporter Caitlin Deggs introduces us to him.
Harold Hooper is known as a man who never sits still. But when he wanted to buy an old bait and tackle shop to keep it open, his family members thought he was crazy. When the previous owner couldn't keep the shop anymore, Harold decided to step in and run the place.
This place has been here for 38 years, and this old man, I've known him all my life. And he started this sucker 30-some years ago, and he's kept it up until his health got bad, and I bought him out and took it over.
With the help of some family members, the bait barn has been transformed into Hooper's Bait and Tackle. His granddaughter says it's been a good thing for him.
He's active anyways. I mean, he's always fishing or hunting, or he's at one of the local boomerangs eating. He does stuff with church, or him and Charlie are off doing something together. I mean, he's never ever been just home.
She says Harold, who everybody in town knows as Grandpa, has always been there for anyone who needed it. So this is her family's chance to be there for him.
It's hard not to find somebody that doesn't know who he is, or who hasn't done something with him, or who hasn't worked with him, or who hasn't worked for him, or, you know, I mean, he's always done a lot.
Even though Harold is passionate about all things fishing, it isn't the reason why he bought the shop. He wants to help his great-grandkids go to college debt-free.
I wanted to make sure that she had a way through school and didn't have a debt hanging over half her life. My granddaughter, it took her about 12 years to pay for her student debt, and I didn't want that for my great-granddaughter.
Jessica says she's so thankful to have a grandpa like Harold.
It's really neat. He's a real special person.
To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good way to get weather information on that
Yeah,
app.
for sure.
Speaking of weather, we're going to have some nice weather for the next few days. A little bit on the windy and breezy side, but as we move towards Wednesday night into Thursday, that's when the rain chances begin to increase. Hopefully we'll get quite a bit of rain with that system. Have to wait and see exactly how that's going to pan out, but the rain should continue at least until the early part of Saturday, and then it turns dry again on Sunday and Monday, with more storms maybe on Tuesday morning. So we definitely need some rainfall to help break the back of that drought that is in control of southeastern Kansas, and we hopefully will get some on Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully
Yes,
we get
absolutely.
something good. All righty, well, that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of a baby monkey and its mother at the San Antonio Zoo. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us a part of your night.